As we are in Kathmandu, the Newari dishes are really famous, right? Since they live in small communities or they have their own community inside a city as well, they would chip in money to buy a buffalo and they would not waste any part of it. They would just turn everything into food and they would just discard the horns and the bones. And later the bones became a button industry, and
Oh, I
and,
see.
and everything happened. But with the food, what they did was they did something marvelous. As we say, the status of any community would come from the food because the Newars have breakfast, they would have the entire meal for the day, they would have food for every season, and they would also have desserts, So they have a complete package of food. And
So at every meal, basically.
yes, and for every season as well.
Try this first, because I haven't tried this. So you also eat this with the beef and rice? You should maybe another Coke just on standby. Definitely tastes good.
So when you meet people who come to Nepal and they start to have Newari food, what is the reaction that you generally see them having? It's like, wow, this is amazing, or oh, this is a little bit different. What is it that generally people that are outside of Nepal?
I figured out they are not into organ eating, but they don't.
Yeah.
But thing they have to know the backstory why we started with the organs eating because it has to have a zero waste.
I listened to you. You were explaining all of the amazing foods here in Nepal. And then, of course, I have the beautiful furniture that you make in my home. And one of the things I keep talking about is how amazing Nepal is in terms of food, in terms of culture, in terms of beauty. And here we're sitting and really talking about all of that at the same time. And I guess what comes to me is, because these are interrelated, it's like beauty creates even more beauty. And Nepal is just this incredibly beautiful, diverse country that has all these incredible layers.
In prehistoric times, the Nepalese traders used to come to the India border and get those silk robes and silk clothes, silk fabrics and all these things. And they would travel via Nepal, go up to the mountains and trade them for salt. So they would have like mixed cultures coming in. So we share the same, there's the similar art. Our kind of art you'll see in Tibet. Their art is incorporated even in our Hindu temples.
Yeah.
And so did the food culture came in.
How do you make Nepal more competitive for its improved economic development?
Our handicrafts, when you put it in the international market, you pull the drawer does not work, it's stuck somewhere. You close the door, it's stuck somewhere, it just, there's so much, we are not getting quality products, This is what we have to learn in a competitive way. We have to make good decisions. We have to stop making convenient decisions, I can make whatever that you order, like in 10 days, but it's not going to be of good functionality. But if I make good decisions and I put more time to it, and more resources to it, smoothen the edges up and bring it to you in 30 days, it's going to have that, So I think that's what we are lacking as trying to put forward our art and handicraft out there, We've so much to offer.
And what's I think really important as I'm listening to you is there is so much that already exists in Nepal in terms of what can be built on. And I think in some ways this is the theme that's running through this conversation. There's so much capability, there's so much just available in Nepal, and how do we all work together to build on that, to really elevate that to a point where people know it, and then it's of the quality that I think people, that frankly Nepalis want to share with the rest of the world.